Do you want to know how to be a calm parent? I think a lot of people want to know how to be a calm parent. In fact, that's probably one of the most common things that I get asked is, how do I just be calm? How do I help them be calm? Our home environment feels like World War III. We're falling apart. We're not bonded as closely as we should be. What do I do about that? How can I enjoy parenting again? Some people want to know. I know that all of us go into parenting with these high hopes. We think, oh, it's going to be like this, or our children are going to feel like this for us. We're going to have these great relationships. We're going to play and have fun. And then there's the real day-to-day stuff. It's grueling. It's find your shoes, get in the car, where's the backpack, eat your breakfast, know you have to brush your teeth, you've got to come in at this time, no more computer games, give me the phone, right? There's all these things that parents have to do. And when the children are not in the mood and the parents don't know what to do, then suddenly a power struggle ensues. So that's what I'd like to talk about today is how do we get ourselves in a place where we don't fall into these traps, these power struggle traps? How do we find calmness instead? Now, first we need to understand calmness. So I would like to share with you the definition of calmness from William Jordan's essay, The Majesty of Calmness. And I'm actually going to read the definition from my favorite calm book called The Power of Calm. The Power of Calm is actually my book. It's one of my most recent books on parenting, and I think you'll find it interesting. So on page 6 in this book, the definition of calmness is this. From William Jordan's essay, calmness is the rarest quality in human life. It is the poise of a great nature in harmony with itself and its ideals. Calmness is the moral atmosphere of a life self-centered, self-reliant, and self-controlled. Calmness is singleness of purpose, absolute confidence, and conscious power, ready to be focused in an instant to meet any crisis. There are a lot of things going on in that short definition. It's by far the best definition of calmness that I have ever read so far. Think of what he's saying, that calmness is so rare. It's the rarest quality. We don't know many people who are truly calm, and when we find them, we don't want to leave their side. Calmness is poise. The poise of a great nature that's in harmony with itself. So we all have different voices inside of us. There's the body voice, which handles all of the cravings and sensations. We've got the brain voice, which some people call the puppet. C.S. Lewis referred to it as the puppet, which can be controlled by the body voice or outside voices. It can even be controlled by the heart voice, or as C.S. Lewis liked to call it, the chest voice, which is the spiritual center or the will of the person. All these voices are competing for who gets to lead us at any given minute. When you have harmony with your nature, that means that you know which voice is leading. In fact, he goes on to say that calmness is singleness of purpose. That means that there is this alignment that happens where the purpose is defined by the voice of truth, which would be that heart voice as opposed to the body voice or just the intellect, which can be influenced by anyone. Jordan also uses the term self-centered as if it's a positive thing. Now, normally, nowadays, we think of self-centered as being self-absorbed, but self-centered, which has been semantically changed, was a term that actually was powerful to people. That meant that they were centered, they were in alignment, which means that their practice, their behaviors, their thoughts, their actions actually matched their moral principles. That's what it meant to be truly calm. Probably my favorite words in the definition is that calmness is absolute confidence. If there's one thing parents nowadays are struggling with, It is a lack of confidence. They're struggling to know what to do. We haven't passed on good information. That leaves people floundering because you don't know what you don't know. So when you have this absolute confidence, then you're ready to be focused in an instant to meet any crisis. So that is William Jordan's definition of calmness, and truly that is my definition of calmness too. That's what I'm shooting for with myself, and when I help teach parents and families all over the world, that's what I'm trying to help them achieve too, and not just for themselves as parents, but for their children too. Although we've got to be honest about something, and that is that it actually starts with you. So this whole channel is called the Teaching Self-Government channel because everything that I teach here, I look through the lens of the principle of self-government. So what is self-government? Well, here's another definition for you. Self-government is being able to determine the cause and effect of any given situation and possessing a knowledge of your own behaviors so that you can control them. That means you have made a plan for where you're headed. You've got a goal in mind and the skills to get you there, and then you examine yourself, and then you analyze yourself again and again to keep yourself on track going in the direction. If you need a course correct, because maybe what you thought would work didn't work, then you find yourself the new skill that will work and you chart your course again. Every person naturally wants to do this, but without the right tools or even the right destination, many people flounder, get stuck in the minute, and end up having power struggles all the time. So let's talk some about power struggles. There are 4 different types of communication. I talk about these 4 types of communication in my book, The Power of Calm, but I'm just going to briefly go over them here. 3 of the 4 types of communication are not effective. Now I know this because I've raised 4 children of my own. I'm a grandmother of 6 children already at this point. Who knows how many more to come. But also I did therapeutic treatment care for foster children, the teens, the ones who were really having attitude problem, anger, sometimes violence, and I helped them find calmness. Most of the teens that came to my home were neurodiverse as well. So hopefully that helps you a little bit to know. So what I'm going to tell you is accurate information related to power struggles. The first type of communication is aggressive communication. Now, this is easy to recognize. Aggressive communication is when people get angry at each other, when they yell, when they get loud, when they stomp and slam and hit walls. It's usually pretty obvious to see. People will start threatening each other, try to instill fear in the other person. Now, most adults don't behave this way, but some of them do, although many children experiment with aggressive communication, especially once they hit puberty and their hormone levels are surging. So sometimes a child starts that aggressive communication. Sometimes a parent or adult starts it. Whoever starts it, if the other person isn't prepared, you're going to end up in a power struggle every time. So the second type of communication is passive communication. This type of communication also ends in power struggles. Now I know that seems weird because some people think, well, isn't that person just doing nothing? This is the problem. They don't know what to do. They feel like there's nothing to do. They feel like victims of their own circumstances. And this victimhood overwhelms them. And so they start to power struggle with their victimhood. This often looks like whining, complaining, sulking, pouting, hiding in a corner. Basically, a person is passive because they don't know what to do to handle their problem. Now, most people think of toddlers when they think of passive communication, and that's usually accurate. Although I've lived with young people, some of my foster children would cry, complain, whine, sulk, or not talk because they did not know how to handle their problems and because they were used to being bullied, maybe even abused before they came to my home. So what would it look like if a parent and a child were having that type of a power struggle? Well, it would look like the parent suddenly behaving passively as well. So the child child would be saying, well, Mom, I don't get what I want. And the mom would be saying, okay, you know what? Could we just stop with this? This is so hard. It ruins my day. I'm feeling overwhelmed. So I'm the victim. No, I'm the victim. No, I'm the victim. And suddenly everybody's dumping their emotions out on everyone. And we don't really get anywhere except for we all just get covered in emotional throw up. So this brings me to the third type of a communication that is also not effective, which is passive-aggressive communication. Passive-aggressive communication is the type of communication that somebody does when they're technically aggressive, but they've recognized that doesn't go over very well. And they don't like how it feels because it's so intense. So instead they pull back. They tell themselves that they're being calm. They tell everybody else, no, I'm the calmest one in the room. But technically they've got this attitude that makes them louder than everyone else. Everyone knows what they're thinking. There's no hiding. There's a chip on their shoulder. They say a few snarky remarks. They give you looks that could kill, or maybe the silent treatment. Now, parents and children can both engage in passive-aggressive communication, which leads to no calmness. So what's the solution? The solution is the fourth type of communication. The fourth type of communication is assertive communication, which means that you actually create a plan for yourself. You decide ahead of time how you will communicate, how you will solve your problems so that you are ready to handle no matter what comes, so that you have that absolute confidence that I was talking about earlier. After dealing with years and years of troubled teens, raising my own children, helping countless people around the world be able to solve their parenting struggles and learn self-government for themselves, there's something that I know, and that is that calmness is achievable. It's possible even for strong-willed people like me and my children and a lot of the foster children that came to my home. Strong-willed people are looking for truth. That's what I was looking for when I was 14 years old and I started fighting with my parents all the time. It wasn't until a caring neighbor actually challenged me with a question about calmness and questioned whether I could choose to say okay and be okay when my parents told me to do something or not to do something, and I put it to the test, that I finally realized actually I can be calm. I can choose happiness, and this is more powerful than anything that I knew before. All children and young people are looking for power, but they want the power of calm, not just the power to control. An immature person wants the power to control. A mature person wants the power of calm. I have multiple books related to calmness, this book, as well as a whole set of children's books called The Calm Crew that help teach children about calmness too. But what I really have that matters more than anything else to people is I have the skills of self-government that usually they are lacking. Many people fall into traps of not being calm because they don't know what to say next. They don't know how to give an instruction and have it followed. What if they don't say okay? What if they're not calm? Now what do I do? Then they start begging, nagging, complaining themselves, or thinking that the child will ultimately always disrespect them. You can get the Calm Crew books for children as well as the Power of Calm book at teachingselfgovernment.com. It doesn't have to be that way. Calmness is within reach if you know what to say. And some of us, even me, were not raised with parents who knew exactly what to say. Sometimes they engaged in power struggles with us. And sometimes we think that is authentic communication because we're sharing all of our feelings. There's a way to share feelings and maintain calmness and solve our problems all at the same time. And I would love to share that with you. So I have a free Calm Parenting Toolkit. This is a mini course that will help you take more steps toward calmness, give you the strategies that you need to question yourself in the moment and get yourself to a place of calm. But it will also prepare you to move on to use the skills and principles of self-government that are contained in some of my other books and courses. So start with the Calm Parenting Toolkit for free today. If you go to teachingselfgovernment.com, it is for free right now on the homepage. Find the Calm Parenting Toolkit, teachingselfgovernment.com. I'll see you there.